So fun. Anyway, super glad you're here. And we're going to be talking about how to have optimum health. And I mean, I'll be honest, like, I'm like, oh, what should I talk about? And I said, oh, wait, let me start record. Oh, the recording started. Oh, I don't know how that happened, but it started. Okay. All right. So maybe it automatically starts at the top of the hour. So I said, okay, I'm going to be talking about how to have optimum health. Can you all hear me okay too? I'm going to make sure. Okay, cool. And that's like this huge topic, right? I mean, there's a lot of components to this. It's not like, oh, you do this one thing, you're going to be amazing. I wish, right? We all wish. And so I said, well, I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, and I'm going to start with that. And then we're going to go a little deeper. And I'm someone who I've been a health nut my whole life. So this comes very easily for me because I live health, and it's been very intentional. Everything you do in life with intention creates your results. So for me, everything is intention. I hear people saying, oh, well, I have this daily ritual. I remember hearing it a few years ago, and I was like, a ritual? And so I'm just intentional. And that's just it. I'm intentional. So you can be that way with anything in your life. And being intentional with your health creates, an aspect of creating health, right? If you're super intentional about it, you will figure it out. And why I say that is I've mastered my health. I get healthier with age. People never say that. I've never heard anyone say that ever in my life. And it's because I'm intentional and because I figure it out if something isn't working. And the stuff I went through was, to me, beyond not working. I used to look like I was 5 months pregnant for 19 years of my life. And I was so determined to figure out what it was that because I am all about health. And so I was so determined to figure it out. And I finally did. And I'll show you a photo here in a minute, but my before and after, it's pretty profound. And so I really grew up actually not eating junk. So maybe that's where this came from. Our treat was popcorn, chips, or ice cream, like on a Saturday. That was it. But I remember going to this, we called it a sanatorium. It's where people go that are ill. And it's like young and old, I mean, all ages. And so we'd go visit people. And I remember saying, I will never end up in a place like this. I will never end up in a place like this. So I think that was profound for me to go, no, that's not going to happen, which is why I get healthier with age, because I'm intentional. I'll keep repeating that word. And so I choose things for my health. And so I've literally studied health since I was 22 years old. Health and self-development were my two passions. I studied self-development because I grew up in a very abusive home with a lot of trauma. And so it was to help me to overcome that. And so I was able to take these two things and put them together. And this is how I help people to create optimum health in their life and master their health. And so for me, like I said, I ended up getting, this bloating started, and then it got worse and it got worse and it got worse to the point I looked like I was 5 months pregnant, and it lasted 19 years. And because of who I am, and I've studied health so deep that I'm like, I tried everything under the sun, like you name it, I tried it. I even went to a cancer clinic in Tijuana, Mexico, thinking that might help me. I was desperate to get well. That's what I call intentional. Like, I'm going to figure it out no matter what. And so I set out to do that. And so like things conspire, right, to like show up, like say I'm showing up in front of you right now. There's something, there's a reason you're here. There's something in my message today that's going to resonate with you at a soul level. And I can tell you, like, I'm not the same as I was yesterday. And what do I mean by that is I am always working on going to the next level of myself, right? That's who we are as soul beings. We always want to expand into our next level. And I've stepped into a whole other level of power since yesterday. I can tell you that. So that's why I'm like, I'm in rare form today. So I'm like, I got to like hold the reins back a little because I'm so passionate about health and self-development. And this morning when I'm like, okay, what am I going to talk about? What specifically am I going to, go over? And it wants to just fly out of me. So it will, it will. And so when you hit that other level of empowerment too, it's an energetic shift. It's at the deep level in the way of being. And so yeah, so this is me speaking. I don't want to get too deep, but everything is codes, right? Energy and codes. And so even me speaking can shift you. Now, I would normally never even say that. So this is me shifted since yesterday. Like, and Claudine, you sound like you get it, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. And I know, because I never used to years ago either, but we're coming into this age of energy and frequency and really learning about it and how things are coded. And even my messaging and my voice, I know has a resonance and a vibration that is healing because I am a healer. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing in my business. So I'm going to show you what happened to me, because I was so intentional to get well with my looking 5 months pregnant bloating, that it did happen. And it didn't happen in a day. There were things that I did, which I'm going to talk about, to completely shift that. And so this is my photo, so you can see what I'm talking about. I lived this way for 19 years, never feeling well, never. And then to a flat stomach. So, and it's not, yeah, bad enough that I looked like I was pregnant when I wasn't, and having to wear big clothes, and in the morning, what's going to fit me? How many of you walk in your closet in the morning and go, oh, yeah, is this going to fit today? You can't pick things out the night before because you got to wait till that morning to see how your body's going to be. It's crazy. So, and then, with that, I had a lot of pain. There were days I couldn't even stand up straight. I was in a fetal position on the couch, and just hours and hours in the bathroom. And, I could go on and on. So, but I won't. TMI. And so anyway, so I shifted that. And so I'm somebody that I'm very out of the box. And I believe we have so much control over our health. And we have been so programmed as society to be in the system. I'll call it the system. This is where I'm getting super bold and in my power right now, because I don't usually talk about this either, is we give our power away to somebody else to make us healthy. And people, I'm not going to name systems, but it's like, it's almost like you become, one thing happens and then it leads to another, and it leads to another, and it leads to another, and you go down what I call the ladder of health. So if you think of a ladder, I love this analogy, because if you think of the middle rung, okay, you're just neutral, right? You're okay. Maybe today you're just feeling okay. But when you start having symptoms like, pain and headaches and gut aches and all of that, you're starting to go down the rungs of the ladder. And if you don't do something about that, you will keep going down. So for me, my gut started bloating. And I mean, I did try to figure it out. I went to doctors and didn't get anywhere. Um, but for me, I went down another rung to chronic illness because it was chronic illness. And if you don't do anything there, then you go down to dis-ease, which is where really doctors work, in the dis-ease part at the bottom of the rung. And and what's after that, right? What's the next level? So I want to empower you and teach you, this is what I do, to go up the ladder, and the top of the ladder is optimum health. So instead of going down the ladder, you want to climb the ladder. Well, what does it take? Intention. Intention. It doesn't just happen, right? We have to be intentional with what we are doing and choices we make. And yes, some people might be thinking, okay, well, genetics tell me I'm this. Well, a small portion of that, right? And I get there are things, right? I'm not saying there aren't, but it is a small portion. It's more epigenetics. And if you don't know what epigenetics is, it's your environment, right? So I grew up, like I said, in a house where we didn't eat that crap. My dad was a cookie salesman, and there were boxes of cookies. Ugh, I hate store-bought cookies. I'll eat a homemade chocolate chip, but I won't eat a store-bought cookie. But yeah, so it didn't interest me. I literally, when I was 18, I remember eating a candy bar and I got sick because my body wasn't used to that. So, but I can eat one now. But yeah, so I'm just saying, it's like, it's your environment growing up. And I see, and this isn't a judgment. It's all, it's all programming, right? TV commercials and all this. Parents they're feeding their kids junk because that's what they're inundated with, and they cereals on TV and all of this. So that's the environment they're growing up in. So that's what they do. That's what they know. And so that's the choices that they choose, not realizing the consequences of that down the road. Because remember, I said, I'm never going to end up in a place like that, right? Here I am now, I'm a kid. I have no idea how old I was, 14, 15, who knows, 12. And here I'm like thinking, okay, when I'm older, like, no, that's not going to happen, right? So what you do today affects down the road. So the epigenetics, it's also what you eat, and the influences around you, who you hang out with, all of that makes a difference on your health, not genetics, right? A small portion, but mostly epigenetics. And if you can look it up, Claudine knows, you can look it up and for yourself and study that if you want to. But again, we're programmed that health is outside of us, but really we have so much more power to create great health in our bodies. And so what I want you to do is really take a bird's eye view of this. Okay, so let's go way up in the sky right now, and let's look down at our life and what we do on a daily basis. So what are your choices you're making every day? And this is like taking yourself outside of yourself, because when you're in your life, you're just doing it, right? It's just automatic. It's like you get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you maybe grab a cup of coffee, you brush your teeth, you do the same routine. So you're not even aware of the habits. You eat the same thing day after day. You're not really aware. So this is to create awareness in you, like, okay, what am I really doing? Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I'm doing this. So, awareness of the choices that you're making, and in how that's a pattern for you. And it's probably, it's just the way it is, right? It's just a pattern, just like, like my pattern is I eat healthy. I don't even like saying that. This is just what I do. I don't call it I'm eating healthy. I'm just eating what I like to eat. And I'm not perfect at all, right? There's things that I eat that, like once in a while I'll have cake or something. I love cake, so it's like, this isn't about perfection. This isn't about any judgment or anything. This is all about awareness of what you're doing in your life, because these are the things that are going to affect your health today and down the road. So it's starting, the first piece is becoming aware of it, and then setting your intention. Okay, I want to create something different in my life. I want to get over my gut issues, my bloating, my, if it's that, I want to be able to button my pants. I yo-yo weight. My weight was all over the board. I could gain like 10 pounds in 4 days. I had zero metabolism. I didn't even know when I was hungry. I'd be like, did I eat? I'm not really hungry. And it could be days. It was insane. So, but it's like, okay, bringing that awareness to it. And I know this is not something that you can change overnight, right? It's a process. It's a process. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you the things that will create that optimum health. So it's, there's a lot of factors, right? Food, right? Obviously, that's one of the biggest ones. What you eat will create healthy cells, supplements. Because when you feed your body what it needs, your body knows what to do. Your body's not stupid. Your body's always trying to go back to homeostasis, which is health. That, that homeostasis. So your body knows what to do when you feed it what it needs. But unfortunately, we've been so inundated with so much stuff that isn't good for us in the food industry on purpose, right? They're making money at your expense, and then it feeds the system, right? Then the system, then you don't feel good, and then you go to the doctor, and then they give you this medication, and then that has side effects, and then you got to do this one. I mean, it's a whole process. And I'm not knocking if you have to do that, and then step back and go, okay, so I have this going on. Okay, what can I do to change that? And then you take the steps to shift that so you can create that great health in your life. So, and if anybody has any questions too, please. Oh, I just saw what you said, Claudine. You feel it in your heart. Okay, so, okay, so I said food, nutrition, right? Exercise. I worked out this morning. Very important. That moves your body. So I don't know, there's nothing like a good workout. Yeah, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to. But once you get in that habit, it's like a momentum thing. It's like, then you want to do it more because it feels good. Even movement, like, I do sit a lot at my computer, but I do work out. But if you're someone who doesn't work out, just even movement, like just moving your body, just always moving. That movement is so important to, keep your blood moving, keep the toxins, releasing, just the movement. We are meant to move. We aren't meant to sit. So that is super important. And then the one thing that's really important, and this is one of the things that shifted my health. You saw my belly, okay? It's processing through your emotions. So had I already processed through emotions before then? Oh yeah, I did. But I'm talking at a deeper level. And that's learning deep self-love, which is why you're here too in this community. And also looking at your thought patterns and the emotions, because those, boom, directly go in your body in an instant. in an instant. I could give you example after example of that, but trust me, they go right to your body. I don't have time to go into all that, but so is it easy to shift your thought patterns? No, it's not. But with intention and specific tools, you can shift those thought patterns. Is it ever going to be perfect? No. We're human beings, on this planet. So it's never perfect. But being aware of that and pivoting those thoughts, because those go right in the body, and then healing through those emotions. Like I had to heal through my emotions. Because of trauma, we all have some sort of trauma. It can be small or big, but we're human beings and we all have it, every single one of us. And if we hold that in and we don't process through that, that gets trapped in your body. And when it's trapped in your body, it shows up as dis-ease or, some kind of health issue. And so in order to overcome that, there's things to do to work through those emotions. And again, it gets deep, right? This is a big thing. Emotions are everything. And this is the piece that people don't pay attention to when it comes to having optimum health. They think, oh, exercise, diet, right? And like those are the main things that people think about, but emotions play 100%. I mean, it's huge in how you feel. And so, and that's your connection to your body. So the pieces for me that I worked through to get to my flat stomach was, I always ate well. So I took supplements. Like that piece wasn't, but that is a piece, right? But it just wasn't for me, or I was already doing it. I mean, I was already working out. I've worked out my whole life. But it was going deeper into processing my emotions because I had done a lot of different work. I did landmark education, which is amazing. I've done a lot of these types of things. But there was another level. It's like, there's another level now. And so I had to go to that level. So it was the deep self-love. And I remember, like, I heard people saying, oh, I deeply love myself. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I don't understand that. What does that mean? I don't get it. That's how disconnected I was from myself. And we do that, right? Like, and this is what I did, and you may be able to relate, but it's like I literally disconnected from my body. I know I did that. And we disconnect from the stuff that's happened to us when we're young, or, it could even be, I was talking to a woman the other day and she's like, my parents were fighting all the time and they didn't talk to each other. And that showed up as trauma in her body and digestion, so it's those things that show up for us. And those are wounds. These are wounds to heal. And that's what I mean by emotions, really. It's the wounds that create the emotions. And so working through the wounds and emotions of those wounds is what clears the body. And of course the thought patterns, and then reducing your stress or not reacting to things. And I remember when my daughter, as a single mom, and I was running around like crazy, trying to make ends meet, worried about paying rent and all the stuff that we all go through. And as far as, the money stuff, that's a whole topic. And so I'm like stressed out. So I have a morning job and then I have an afternoon job. And so I come home and I change for my afternoon job, which was more professional. And I'm like, I have 5 minutes to change. And I'm like, oh, help me, grab me this, grab me that. No, that's wrinkled. No, not that. And I was this banshee woman, And then I like, hurry up, throw my clothes on and I'm out the door. And I was talking to a friend, she goes, and I was telling her how insane it was. And I remember her saying, do you have to react that way? And I'm like, no, I don't. So that's awareness, right? I'm in it, so I can't see it. And when somebody pointed it out to me, it's like that bird's eye view, right? I said, go up and look at it at a bird's eye view. I'm like, ooh, no, I don't want to do that. And I stopped. I just made that choice, right? Choice and intention to stop. And I did. Now, I could have kept doing, but for me, I saw the pain of it. So sometimes you have to see the pain. Sometimes you want to change, and it doesn't, it doesn't, it doesn't. And until you hit that point, like, that's it, I'm done. That's when shifts happen. So it was like, I saw how I'm not only affecting my health by doing that, that I'm affecting her, my daughter. And it's like, wow, she must be like, I'm so freaking glad she's gone out of the house. Like she must have just been like, ah. I mean, that must have been horrible for her. So think about who you are affecting by the way you are being and the impact you have on other people. Because that's what I saw. I saw how I was impacting her. And again, I think she probably thought, I'm so glad she's gone and I don't want her to think that. But I would think that if that was my mother, I'd be like, get out of here. I can't take it anymore. So I had to look at that, right? And this is the hard part, is looking at ourselves. We don't want to see these things in ourselves. And this may be a little painful, even listening to me talk and bringing up some of this stuff, and you don't want to look at it, and it may piss you off or it might inspire you, and that's okay either way. It's where you're at, and in a week you might go, oh yeah, I remember when she said this, I'm doing that. That's what I want. I want to inspire you and I want to piss you off. I'm here for both, because that is what creates change. That's what creates those shifts in your life. Now, when I said it yesterday, I shifted from yesterday. I heard something, I'm not going to get into it, but I heard something that was profound for me. And I was like, oh no. Mm-mm. And that shift me into my power at another level. I totally feel it energetically in my body, in who I'm being. And when you can shift that way, it's so powerful, because then you automatically choose differently, because you want this certain outcome. You'll be intentional with what you're doing. So that is so powerful. So even if I'm saying something that, when I talk about the system, I don't know where everybody's at, right? But I know that system doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't work. You can think it works, and that's good. And it works to a degree, right? If I like get in a car accident, please put me back together kind of system, right? That's where I believe it works. But in other areas, we have so much more control over our everyday health, and having that energy and having great digestion and feeling good. All of that, like, we have more control over that than we realize. And this is really the other thing that I wanted to speak on, and I'm like almost at time, but is the other piece that was profound for me is connecting my body, right? Reconnecting. And that's when I was talking about childhood. I disconnected from myself. And we do that, we may not even realize it, because I would have been like, what do you mean I disconnected from myself? I'm right here. Here's my head, here's my body. I'm fine, right? I'm connected. My head's not bobbing over there. But energetically, you're disconnected, because again, this is programming. And I could like talk for hours on that topic. We are programmed to be in our heads. And I don't know if these are all women here, if there's men on here, it looks like it's all women. Um, so we are so programmed to be in our heads. And as women, we're meant to be in our bodies, our bodies. And we're in a, right now I'm in my masculine because I'm teaching, right? We're in our masculine energy, and we don't get in our feminine energy, which is where really our power is in our day-to-day life. That's where our power is in our feminine energy. And that's like another topic. Sorry, I'm like, feel like I'm tangenting on all these topics, but so I guess I gotta bring those up the next time I teach. But being in your body and connecting into your body, and I'm not going to get into, how to do that and that, but I'm just bringing that awareness again, like this is a piece to having health. And especially as a feminine woman, because we've really been programmed to be more masculine in a masculine world. And we're actually more powerful when we're in our feminine energy, in our life. So, and you can even right now focus on as a woman, if you're a woman, if you're a man, focus on your chest, right? Men are here, women hips. So let's focus on our hips right now, and just bringing your attention and your consciousness and awareness to your hips. That's getting in your feminine body, just that right there, just a little quick tip on that. So connecting to your body is a vital piece. And if you come from trauma, and we all have some sort of trauma, we disconnect. We don't allow ourselves to feel. We're worried about what people think. We're worried about judgment. It's just a natural, normal human thing to think. So we're not out there in the world being vulnerable, which when you're vulnerable creates connection. And we're a disconnected society. And right now, today, you see it more than ever. Again, I think a lot of that is manipulation, trying to separate people. And we have to get away from that, because that's going to make you less healthy also. That if you don't think it affects your health, it totally does. Totally does. So I kind of went over a lot, but let me try to summarize what I went over. Is connecting to yourself in your body, being in your body. You can consciously be in your hips right now. Processing through your emotions, pivoting your thought patterns, being aware of your habits and patterns and lifestyle choices, because it's just a pattern. Get a step back again, like a bird's eye view, and go, okay, no judgment, just like, okay, that's a pattern. I'm doing this, this, and this. Okay, I want to break that pattern. What can I do? Like, don't put emotion into it. Just step back and just see where you can shift that. Because a lot of that comes from our past. And actually, I have if you go to my website, there's and I'm revamping it, so don't judge my website right now. But the point is, I have a freebie on there that says how to let go of the past in 1 minute, even if it seems impossible to do. And it's the technique that I use when I first started my healing process on my body. And it's huge. It's very simple, but it is huge. So, and actually, let me put my website on there so you can go there. My website is peaceofmyheart.net. Peace, like PEACE, peaceofmyheart.net. And you can get that freebie there. So, and of course, then also the food and exercise is also important, right? But it's the emotional, the thought patterns, the connection, the deep self-love piece that people don't realize is very profound for their health. And that is why I wanted to speak on this today, is how to have optimum health. it's climbing that ladder. So all those pieces, I remember I talked about the ladder and going down. When you have symptoms, that's your body telling you something. That's when you start paying attention. So you don't keep going down the ladder. And then with intention, you can go up the ladder, and each of those things I'm talking about puts you higher and higher on the ladder so you can master your health and have great health and feel good every day, because that affects your world, right? If you're not healthy, what's the point? I don't mean it like, what's the point? But, if you're feeling crappy, you're not going to be in the world like you want to be, in your relationships, with yourself, in your job, the money you make. It affects everything. So this is a very big topic, and I hope that helps. And does anyone have any questions? My God, I'm like going on and on. Anyone have any questions?
Well, hi, how are you? This is Anna. So I'm not sure if you said it or not, but I didn't quite get it. So how did you manage to have your stomach go from 5 months pregnant looking to flat?
Yeah. So the steps I took was I worked on loving myself. So self-love, deep self-love. I processed through emotions uh, at a deeper level from abuse I had, different things in my life. Because I wasn't one that showed vulnerability, or, I was always like a go-getter, like I'm always striving to achieve in my masculine. And so processing through my emotions, and that there's a lot to that. Um, but that's like in a nutshell what I did. I I did um, paying attention to my thought patterns and shifting my thought patterns, because those go in the body. I started to oh gosh, now oh, less stress. That's what I said. Sorry. I'm trying to think of all, because there were so many components. Less stress. So remember when I was talking about my daughter and how I was reacting, and I was paying attention to that, because all that goes directly in the body. So I started focusing on me. And so instead of doing things for everybody else, I started focusing on me. And matter of fact, uh, one of my friends said, oh, somebody's coming. One of my friends said to me, she's like, just focus on you. Don't do anything for anyone else. And I'm like, do you know how hard that is? And so it was challenging, let me tell you. Like, if you can focus on you and no one else for a while, it's actually life changing. Not saying you're not going to ever help anyone else, because I do all the time, but just for that period of healing. And it was very profound for me. I'll tell you the story. When I was at this, gosh, this was probably 8 years ago, when I was focusing on just me and not helping anyone. I was at this conference, and we were all going up and presenting, and my turn, I hadn't had my turn yet, and someone was up there and their computer crashed, and they said, does anybody can I use your computer? And I sat there, and right away I wanted to give them my computer. And I was like, no, you don't, Jody, don't give them your computer. Don't give them your computer. Don't give them like, I literally was so hard, right? We're women, we're always giving. And so no one was helping him. And I'm like, what is up, people? I couldn't believe that. And finally, it made me so insane, because this guy's struggling. I finally gave him my computer. And then he went through his whole presentation. Well, then it came to my turn, and I went up there. My battery died. I wasn't able to present my stuff and everything that I had put together, because my battery died. I was flustered. They were almost out of time. And I was like, okay, I heard you, God. Like, okay. I was told not to, and I did, and that's what happened. And it was like a lesson for me to learn, like, okay, this is time to focus on me, because there again, discounting myself. And I did that a lot. That was a pattern for me. I always discounted myself and I put everybody else first. And that was my shift to get out of that. So Anna, it was like, it was focusing on me, less stress, self-love, processing through my emotions and thought patterns, being aware of what I was choosing and doing. So I know that's quite a few things, but that's really the things that I had to work through. It took some time. And that's what I support people with too, is working on those pieces. And here's what happened. Once I did that, I dropped 15 pounds without trying, and my stomach got flat. It's like when you, oh, and I meditated too. That was part of it. And so when you shift these things, your body naturally responds. That's just, that's how it works. It's like, yeah, when you work through these things, you will just, your body will shift and start going back to normal again. I remember screaming at my body, like, why can't you be normal? And yeah, it's frustrating. You know, I went through all those emotions. And the other thing was I hated my belly. So I'm throwing hate at my belly. Well, that didn't help me any either, right? That's the awareness of the thoughts. So I hope that helps. I know that's a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, that helps. And I just was wondering, I mean, if anybody else has a question, then please do take that before you answer my next one. But
Okay.
so just wondering how you go about working with people. What are your sessions like, or what is it that you do and all that
Yeah.
stuff?
Well, what I do is I have a quantum health reboot session with somebody first. And then I find out, like, okay, where are they at? What issues are they having? And then I can help you with a roadmap to shift out of whatever it is that you have. Say it's digestive issues, looking at, okay, where are you at? How severe is that? What kind of things have you done? And then I can give you steps to go to the next level to clear that. So if you want to, I mean, just, yeah, if you go to my site or email me, jodi@peaceofmyheart.net, I can set something up with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well.
Hi, this is Anne.
Hi, Anne.
I'm working. I'm not really ready, so I don't want to go on video camera. How did you get rid of the inflammation in your tummy? You just mentioned belly fat. I have that issue and I've been working on myself. It's been reducing in size. I've changed my diet. I've been walking 3 miles a day. But what was your trick to losing that?
Yeah, well, it was those components I just mentioned. So there's probably something more there, something emotional or thought patterns or stress, that piece that could be the other piece that you haven't worked through yet. Because that's what, for me, was the most profound piece to shift me into having that health that I wanted in my flat stomach.
Mm-hmm.
In a nutshell, right? Because I just here, it's like hard to go through all those. I can't go through everything in detail, but that's in a nutshell what I did. Yeah.
Did it take you a long amount of time to do that?
It took me almost a year. Yeah, I was quite severe. So yeah, it took me almost a year to get my belly to be completely healed. And I didn't say this because it's confusing, but these photos are 4 days apart.
Wow.
It's too confusing. So here I am feeling better, like I had good days and bad days, right? And this was a good day. I just happened to snap this for a man. I sent it to him. And then 4 days later, that man triggered me, and boom, that's what happened. So in that time, I had good day. It was like a roller coaster. And then it was good. Right. So it's like this process, you're getting better, and then you might have a bad day, and then soon it just kind of levels off.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what I support people with, because man, everything goes in our guts, it just does. It all goes in our belly.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
So
And
it's
if you
not
want,
just about,
like,
oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
I'll-
if you want, like, I have that, that gift, How to Let Go of the Past, which is part of what we hold on to, is stuff from our past. I mean, we literally are in that most of our day. I mean, think about how much you think about, I wish I didn't do that, or I wish that, or you're thinking of a situation that somebody pissed you off, or, like, that stuff affects your health. That's why I have that. I call it the step away method. So
Do you have like a link to that so we can look at that about how
yeah.
to get rid of the past?
Mhm. If you go to my site, peaceofmyheart.net, PEACE of myheart.net, it's right there under my photo with my dog.
Great. I'm going to look into it. Thank you so much, because
You're
I went through an extreme amount of trauma and it seemed to affect me in my gut the most, my gut and my throat.
Yes, right. Yeah, your voice. That's what you mean, right? Your voice, I'm assuming.
My voice, and also it affected my thyroid.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, Anna, you had a question.
Yes, I just couldn't get unmuted. So then it sounds like it's not just about food and dieting then. It's
Bingo.
yeah, it's
Bingo.
about really looking at all aspects of ourselves. Because you're saying I could be eating just carrot sticks all day long, but if my emotions are affecting my body in a certain way, or my thought patterns, even though I'm eating only maybe 100 calories that day, it's possible that my body will react otherwise because it's being, like, I don't know, intoxicated with other things. That's what kind of what I'm hearing
Exactly.
from you.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
So on
And
a personal level, do you find it easy to maintain now? But you were going to say something. I didn't mean to stop you.
no, no, good question. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yep. It's because, okay, and I alluded to it at the beginning of the conversation, is you shift at an energetic level. And when you shift at an energetic level, right? Because once you do this, you are not the same. It's literally it's your emotions, but it's energetic. It's hard to describe, and when you shift at that energetic level, you don't go back. Not saying you don't have issues or, things you process through, right? Things happen. I still have stuff happen, but you're at another level of yourself. And then you'll know, okay, you'll know how to process through that to get to this level. And so that's what I've been doing with my life. And that's why yesterday I learned something, and just knowing that, it shifted me into another level, just because of I processed through it and I know how to do that. And so I did that, and I shifted. So, and I know there's another shift, right? Because we're always going to another level of ourselves. But but really being able to, once you work through that stuff, that's when that change happens in your life, that shift. And again, I shouldn't say again, I can't remember if I talked, but everything is energy. And so frequency, right? So say we're here, and then we make this big shift, like sometimes it's even perspective. When you learn, and that's kind of, with me yesterday, if sometimes it can be perspective and you're like, holy crap, and that can shift you. But if you process through something, it shifts you here. You're not going to go back here. And then you process through something else, and then you go here, and it's like it builds on that. Does that make sense? That's the best way I can describe it.
It makes a lot of sense. I have to
Okay.
say, I'm not trying to pry, but I'm just so curious as to what happened with you shifting yesterday.
Oh, well, yeah, it has to do with my twin flame. I don't know if you know what a twin flame is. That's like a whole topic of do
I
you know
have
what
an
it
idea with twin flame. I have an idea. Twin flame is that aspect of you that you find in somebody else that's, I don't know, an opportunity to heal or something, but supposedly it's you, but it's like another half of you or something like that.
Yeah, it's your so yeah, one soul and two bodies, and that and yeah, you're designed, it's designed to trigger you. It's the most incredible love that you would ever feel in your life, and it's designed to trigger it's designed to trigger each other to go and then heal your wounds. And I don't know how to say this, because this is a whole other topic. So one of the things I learned, there's a lot of nefarious type energies happening in the world. Let's just put it that way. I know a lot about this topic, but I'm not going to go into it. And I found out about something that they're doing to twin flames, which does not make me happy. Again, it's energy stuff. And this is all going to be coming out soon to humanity. It's just not out there yet. But everything, not twin flames, but and so then they're doing some manipulation of twin flame energy, because twin flame energy is love, and twin flames are here to come together to because there's such profound love, to put that in the ethers and heal humanity. The stuff gets pretty deep, but this is the purpose of the twin flame. And there's some manipulation to that twin flame energy, and that's what's keeping them apart, which I am not with my twin right now. And it's been a process of healing through that. And I keep shifting and shifting. I'm at a really good place right now, but that's been an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, for me. It's been a year. And so finding that out yesterday, it's like, no, because I'm thinking, oh, maybe we're never going to be together. It's like, no, I'm stepping into my power and creating this. I created this, right? And I'm a very determined person. I'll figure it out. And I'm determined, like, we're going to be together. And so that's the energy I shifted into. Like, I'm a powerful being. I know my power, right? But sometimes I forget, because this has been such an emotional roller coaster of pain, losing that kind of love. And it's like, no, I'm not accepting that anymore. And I'm stepping into the power of really speaking my truth even more. Like I said, I don't usually go into the system stuff, but it makes me so crazy. I want people to really get that they have the power versus outside of themselves. And this is where I stepped into that. I have the power to shift this twin flame energy. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah,
I want to.
oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Whoever it is, Anne. Go ahead, Anne.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. What I was going to say is I've actually felt that energetic interference about my connecting with my twin flame. I've actually done a lot of energetic work on connecting with my twin flame, and I know who he is, and he's in another country. But I am working on uniting with him. I never actually met him, but I can actually energetically feel him with me in the 5D.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's been a lot of energetic interference. I've had to have chakras cleared. I've had to have other energetic blocks cleared. And all of a sudden he communicates with me the next day
Mm,
or even the same day, as soon as I've had a block removed.
mm.
It's really interesting.
Yes. Oh yeah. Because that energy, when you shift, they do, you're the same frequency.
Yes.
That's why. Yeah. Hmm.
I know that may sound strange to some people
I
and really
know.
blue, but to me it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't talked to mine in a year. He just left. He ghosted me. So that was a lot to process through. Feeling like I'm not loved, yeah, all that stuff, like coming back. My wound is people don't care about me. That's my wound from childhood. And of course that came up, right? That's the thing I was supposed to heal.
That was one of the wounds I have from my childhood, besides being abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk too much because there are other people that want to have a chance to talk to.
No, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so if somebody else wants to talk, please do jump in, no issue. But if not, then I have a follow-up question. When you were explaining about the twin flame and you were saying you refer to they as disturbing things, and I was wondering who is they? Who is they?
Oh gosh.
Who's they?
Well,
And you
it
can speak openly. I'm open. I'm open-minded.
all right. Well, some may not be on this call, but that's okay. The cabal. It's this has to do with the twin towers coming down. It's all connected. There's a lot of we're in a spiritual battle right now on this planet, and most people don't know we're in a spiritual battle. And we've been all right. If you don't want to hear this, you can actually I'm going to stop recording. Oh, it's not going to stop. Okay, I don't know why. Yeah, we're in a spiritual battle right now, and it's been going on since JFK died, was murdered, and so. Oh wait, here it is.